What's good, people? It's your boy Warren from Rebrand You, back with another video this week on how to craft a compelling story for your brand. We all know facts tell and stories sell, right? There's no point telling the facts of what your stuff is made of, and your clothing's this and your clothing's that. It's made with the finest cotton. People don't care about that stuff. People care about the story behind the brand. So today I want to get into it a little in depth of how to craft that compelling story, flesh it out and make it convincing to have people lining up to buy your clothing. Okay, before we do that, click the link in the description box below to get our absolute banger of a course. It's called From Scratch to Six Figures on How to Build a Clothing Brand. Ultimately, it's the Bible of clothing brands, right? A lot of people get into clothing brands and they don't know what to do, right? There's no guidance, there's no coaching, right? So we created pretty much a Bible from A to Z on how to launch a successful clothing brand and grow it from scratch to six figures. So click the link in the description box to buy it today for about £27. It's going up. It's going to double to or triple maybe. We're not sure, but it's at a promotional price at the minute. So grab it while it's on sale. Okay, so let's dive right into the meat and potatoes, into the good stuff, into the content of how to craft a compelling story. So what is a story? For many years now, for hundreds of thousands of years, stories have been a thing that have brought people together. Okay, back in the day, in the caveman era, it was people used to sit around the campfires and tell each other stories. Okay, nowadays we're still doing that, except we're not around the campfire. We're in our homes, we're watching movies, we're listening to music. These things all tell us stories. So story is powerful, right? It's what drives and what connects people. Okay, so your brand is a brand for obviously it's a brand that, and you want to connect with customers. Okay, and the best way to do this isn't to promote your product, is to promote your story. Okay, because people will lock into your story, and if they enjoy it, they like it, and they connect with it, then they'll be much more open to seeing what product you have. Okay, that's why charities do so well, because they have fantastic stories. Okay, they have really emotional stories that pretty much make people just drag out their credit card and say, where do I pay, how do I help? Okay, now even though you're not building a charity, you can still have that same effect on your customers and your target audience in terms of making them want to get out their credit card and saying, where can I buy? Right? It's not going to be because you've got the finest cottons, or that you use Egyptian weaved threading, or your embroidery is tight, or your fit. Yeah, those things help, but ultimately the thing that's going to want to attract is going to pull people to your brand is your story. So we're going to talk about how to actually craft that story to get people attracted in your brand and keep them coming time and time again. So there's 3 pillars to effective targeting, which we go through. I'll go through it more in depth in the course, so definitely go and grab the course. But today I'm going to touch base on the 3 pillars of effective targeting, and they simply start and they break down into 3 components, right? The first is a message, the second is a story, and the third is an audience. So what do I mean by a message? A message is any kind of message that you want your audience or your customers or your fan base to walk away with. Now, a message is something that should help them. Okay, it should help them. Meaning, good messages, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. That could be a message, right? Because if someone takes an apple a day, that will keep them in good health, good spirit, and consistently moving in the right direction towards good health. Okay, consistent health. That's a message. Someone can go away with that message, and that message could help and impact their lives today. So you want to know, you need to really sit down, get a pen and paper, and really craft a good message. What do you want people to take away from your brand? Like, what is it that you want to affect them with? And this is where a lot of people they rush this. If you go to marketing school, they'll teach you this, but most people don't. So they just walk right past this, and they go to Instagram, they open an account, they start promoting their product, posting their clothing and their t-shirts and their hats, and they don't get any sales, and then they go, oh, it must be my design, or stuff like that. It's nothing to do with your design. It's because you've skipped the fundamentals of what you need to do to create a brand. Right? It's like going to an apple tree and complaining that you've grown an apple tree. Well, you did plant apple seeds, so you've got an apple tree. If you wanted oranges, right, you needed to plant an orange seed, but you didn't. You grew apple trees, and now you're complaining about the apples on your tree. So don't plant apples if you want oranges. Okay, if you want quality customers and you want to build a quality brand, you have to do the things that create a quality brand and quality customers, and it is starting with a message. Okay, so what is your message? some good messages, like if we go over to films and TV, and my kids love Pixar. My family, my wife Andra, Leo, Aries, we all love Disney Pixar films. Anytime they release a new Pixar film, whether it be Finding Nemo, whether it be, I don't know, Toy Story, we always go to the cinema. We love them. Why? Because human psychology, the human psychologist in us, and our basic human nature loves stories. All humans do. Most humans do. And Toy Story's message, buried inside the characters and the stories, is friends are for life. Okay, that's the message buried deep inside the characters and the ups and downs and what they go through. A Bug's Life, their message is heroes are not about size, okay, because they're small, they're little ants running around, they can still make an impact, right? Monsters Inc., their message is things are rarely what they seem, because they look monster, they look scary at the beginning, but at the end they turn out to be cuddly people that just want to help, and make kids laugh. And Finding Nemo is no ocean is too large to cross for the ones you love. Now, you can hear that as a metaphorically or symbolically, meaning, you go and find the one you love, they're out there, go and get them, no ocean is too large. So those are the messages buried deep down inside these stories as to why we love them so much, right? So you need to do the same thing. You need to have a good message. You need to have something that people can walk away with, and it's like a saying or a slogan or a phrase. Like the best way I could put it is an apple a day keeps the doctors away. That's a good message, right? It's a cliche, but it's an example of a good message. Another good message is there's a silver lining in every cloud. That's a message. That's a mantra. That's a philosophy that someone can live by day in and day out and can positively affect their life. So you need to think about what your message is. So if we stay on the topic of an apple a day keeps the doctors away, that's our message. The story next, which you put in place after you've got your message, is that you start building out a story around the message. So an apple a day keeps the doctors away, and now the story would be, a 34-year-old male. I was working in the city, double shifts, neglecting my health every day, eating a lot of fast food, and I got burnt out. My health dropped. I was getting ill a lot, so I went to the doctors for a checkup to see what was going wrong. The doctor didn't laugh, but the doctor called me in, said, "Yep, I know what's the matter with you, young man. You're just burnt out. You're killing yourself. You're not really looking after your body." So, and the doctor joked, you need to start with an apple a day. If your life is too hectic and you don't know how to swing it around, simply start with an apple a day, because the apple a day will keep the doctors away. That's a story, right? That's a story now that you can share. I would share that if I had a clothing brand and that was my story. I would share that everywhere I go, right? I would share that on Instagram. I'll share that to friends. I'll share that with family. I'll just tell the story to people, right? The doctor said keep an apple a day keeps the doctors away. So I want to create a clothing brand that can impact people and empower them to start taking care of their health before they get burnt out, before they start suffering mentally and physically. And I just want this clothing brand to feel comfortable in them, but most importantly, inspire them to look after their health day in and day out and start with apple a day. Do it by starting with apple a day. Now, the design for the clothing brand could be maybe a half-eaten apple, wink, Apple, Apple iPhones and stuff. So we probably don't want to go down that route. But maybe it could be, something in the health field, something in the doctor's field, some kind of symbol. I don't know. You can play with it, but you already start to flesh out. You can already start to feel a brand, because we got the message. Apple a day keeps the doctors away. We got the story. Double shifts, burnt out, low health. Doctor joked and said, start with apple a day, and now you've got your logo work, right? You can know what kind of logo you're gonna do, and then you can. Last but not least is the audience in these 3 pillars of effective targeting. It's the audience, right? Because now when you tell your story, right, here's where it gets super, super clever. When you tell your story, those that are going through what you're going through or been through what you've been through, okay, will put their hand up and say, "Wow, that's me. Can I get the link to your website so I can check out your stuff?" Because there's a connection. right? People don't want to just buy stuff for the sake of it. They buy stuff because they feel a connection. They need to feel there's a similarity, right? So how can you get someone to feel similar to a t-shirt? We're a human and that's a t-shirt. What connection are they ever going to have? We're made up of molecules and we possess one of the most incredible computers in our head, which is a brain in the entire galaxy, right? And you want us to compare ourselves to a t-shirt. We have nothing in common with a t-shirt. It's cotton. Okay, the only thing we can have in common is with that t-shirt is what that t-shirt represents, what that logo on that t-shirt represents, the story inside that logo and what it represents. Then now you can connect. The story you can connect with, but the physical embroidery, the threads, there's nothing to connect with. So you want people to put their hands up and say, "Rah, that's me." You know, Jim King's done it best. They appeal to people that want to go to the gym and look good at the same time. We don't want to be in the gym, look and training in athlete wear that looks good and feels tight and makes them and flatters them. You know, so they're targeting those people. They've got a story as well about how the guy came up and he couldn't find any, quality stuff in there. Every time he was in the gym, he always felt like, a piece, it didn't look wasn't stylish. So he wanted to change the game and empower people to look good in the gym instead of just looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger, wearing those big loopy vests kind of thing hanging from your neck. That's a story. So other people go, yeah, I want to look good in the gym too. Let me check out your website. What website is it? There's a connection. You need the story, man. Because then what you do, it's like standing in front at Wembley Arena, standing in front of 50,000 people and having, out of that 50,000 people, 5 to 10,000 people put their hand up and say, yeah, me. That's the same as me. I'm going through what you've been through, or I'm going through what you're going through. My health is getting burnt out. I'm working double shifts. I'm not taking care of myself. Because there's going to be a large portion of people that aren't, that are just fine. They have good health. They're not burning themselves out. They go to the gym. That's fine. They're not for you. You're looking for the people that are going through what you've been through, because they're going to become your customers. And that's all you're doing. You need to start. You want to craft the story that's going to make people say, me too, and then want to check out your stuff. Okay, and that's all it is. It's really simple. As soon as you understand this, you stop going from, let me post this, let me post that. What should I post next? What should I post? And then you start thinking, right, what story can I share? How can I share my story today in a different way that I haven't already said it? What picture can I post that represents my story? Maybe I can post a picture of an apple. Maybe I post a picture of a doctor today. Maybe I post a picture of someone in the office working hard, holding their head because they've got a headache from the stress. You start to find and see how, why Coca-Cola has an advert at Christmas of the Father Christmas driving through the city in a big red lorry and everyone following behind him. You start to see where they got their idea from, because they understand their message, they have a good story, and now they're just crafting out visuals and creatives that are connected to the story. Okay, so anytime I go online and I see someone's Instagram page and I see them only posting pictures of their clothing, I know why they're doing that. It's because they don't understand their message, they don't have a story, and they don't know who their audience is. They don't know how, they got no strategy. There's no effective way of targeting their audience. Okay, so like I said, once you got these three things in place, you'll start to skyrocket your sales, and not only will you skyrocket your sales, but you'll also get a lot of repeat customers, because people will fall in love with the brand and what your brand represents. Okay, so it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer, and all of the best brands are doing that to us, to me, to you, whether you understand it subconsciously or unconsciously. Whether you know it or not, they're doing it. That's Apple do a great job, Trapstar do a great job, Jim King do a great job, Pepsi do a great job, Sony do a great job, Disney do a great job. All of these well-known household brands, they do these things, right? So I really want to drive this point home and get you to start taking time out or in your day and really nail this, really nail the message, nail your story, because when you do these two things, you will really start to attract your ideal audience that are just lining up to buy from you, right? They'll just be lining up to buy from you. And that's what I want for you guys. That's what I want for you, is to have a line, whether it be on Instagram or offline or online, lining up for your product, because you are talented. If you're listening to this, you're talented. You want it. Most, if you're not listening to, if you wasn't, you wouldn't be listening to this if you didn't want to succeed at building a clothing brand. You know, you wouldn't. But you're listening to this because you want to build a successful clothing brand. So you deserve it. You know, you don't, there's a saying, what is it? It says, don't bring me your need, bring me seed, which basically means don't bring me, you know, what you need to happen in your life. You know, don't bring me, oh, I want this, I want that. Bring me effort, bring me discipline, bring me compassion, bring me, you know, dedication, bring me seed. Don't bring me your need, bring me seed. I love that biblical term, right? So you bring seed to the table by showing up every day, learning the game, you know, taking action, and that's you. That means that you're going to end up eventually deserving whatever it is you put in. A bit like, you know, whatever you get put in, you get out. So that's where I want to leave this video today. Like I said, I go into way more depth in my course, which you can go and grab from my website in the description link box below, and you can go and get and pick up your copy. It's about hours long. It's got some great like I wish I had some reviews that I can go through. I haven't got them in front of me, but there's some incredible sections where we talk about, you know, the ASAP method, the ASAP system in terms of launching, and I go into more about the 3 pillars of effective targeting, you know, the IKEA concept, which so many of you guys love. There's a 6-figure launch, pre-launch checklist in there. You know, it's just filled with rich content, you know, how to send insane amounts of traffic to your website and bank massive profit. Like, there's incredible amount of profit in there for the value in there for the price that you pay. If I had to place a price on this course, I'd definitely say it was worth maybe at least 900 quid, $997, £997, whatever it is. Definitely 100%. We're giving it away for £27.29. Okay, so it's a no-brainer. You know, what you're getting out of it is value. We got in the industry, my team and I, we got in the industry and we was printing t-shirts, we was printing clothing, was manufacturing clothing for recording artists, right? Skepta, Chipmunk, in the industry, right? And things changed. We started to realize, yeah, we was, you know, working with these guys, and yeah, we was working with a lot smaller brands, but the brands that was coming to us, they didn't know how to build brands, right? Which means that they wasn't coming back to place repeat orders, which was affecting our bottom line. And ultimately, we was selling stuff to people that people didn't know how to sell. We was making t-shirts for people that was going off trying to sell them and coming back saying, you know, I've still got the box in my mum's house, you know, under her stairs. Because people don't understand how to build a clothing brand. They think it's as easy as making clothes, but it's not. So we shifted our business from just being a standard run-of-the-mill print and embroidery company to a coaching company that coaches and mentors clothing brands how to build from scratch to 6 figures. Because on our journey of working with, you know, we even worked with Trapstar at the beginning when they was very, very early in their story. We got to peek behind the curtains and see what people was actually doing. You know, these 6-figure, 7-figure companies now, we got to see what was working for them. We worked closely with them. So now we're just pretty much sharing the game of what we've learned and coaching upcoming clothing brands, apparel, you know, businesses to steer them in the right direction and give them the coaching and the help that they need. So hope you got value from this video. Don't forget to like this video. It really helps with the algorithms. It helps spread the words, gets this video out. I really appreciate it. It's your way of saying thank you for this video. Drop a comment below and let me know your story. In a few words, let me know what your story is, right? Craft your story here and right now. You don't need to go away for days and days and craft 4 pages of a story. It needs to be 4 short sentences. You know, it's simple sentences. You know, it starts with XYZ, until I discovered da 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 da, and now da 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 da. It's really simple. It can be as short as that. It doesn't need to be no long drawn out affair. It can be really short. So drop a comment below. Let me know your story. And funny thing is, if you put in the comments below what your story is, or write a paragraph of who you are, you know, why you're selling clothing, and what your clothing brand represents, I will craft it. I'll pick a few out and I'll craft it into a short, snappy story with a message story, you know, and I'll craft it out for you and send it back to you. How about that? Sound good? Cool. So drop a comment. Let me know what your story is. And yeah, got value, if you got value from it, give this video a like. Every Sunday we're dropping brand new videos for you guys to start, grow and scale your clothing brand. Take care. Peace.